Welcome everybody to the April 14th City Council meeting. We'll begin by roll call.
Brewster.
Here.
Walters.
Here.
Martin.
Here.
Ewert. Here. Benner.
Here.
Martin.
Here.
Crum.
Here.
Thompson.
Here.
All right, our invocation tonight will be given by Jennifer Jones from Haysville United Methodist Church. Welcome.
Let us pray. Holy and loving Lord, we do thank you. We thank you for being able to be here tonight, and we ask that you would guide and bless the business that we are about to do. And we ask, Lord, that you would just continue to be with this community as we grow and continue to work together to be the community that you have called us to be. Lord, we pray all of this in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, we have a special order of business. We have a couple of things. A, we have a proclamation regarding the Child Abuse Prevention Month. So this is a mayoral proclamation for Child Abuse Prevention Month. Is Ashley Coleman here?
No, she's not here. She's in Mount Hope, but Rachel Harper with Kansas Children's Service League. And then,
Hold it now with a child out because he's in our service.
And Valley Kids with Department of Child Family Services.
right
Okay,
here.
great. I'm going to read this and I'll meet you at the podium. How's that? Unless you want to stand at the podium. Whereas prevention is possible with the right policies and investments, families and children can thrive and avoid contact with child welfare and other costly systems. And whereas the early experiences of a child impact them throughout life, both positively and negatively. And whereas every family and child is filled with tremendous promise, and we all have a collective responsibility to prevent adverse childhood experiences, foster the potential of every child, and promote positive childhood experiences. And whereas positive childhood experiences, PCEs, such as loving caregivers and safe, stable, and nurturing relationships play a vital role in helping children thrive by mitigating trauma and the negative impact of adverse childhood experiences. And whereas families who receive the support they need before a crisis occurs are better equipped to provide safe, healthy, and nurturing environments, leading to children who are safer, healthier, and more hopeful about their futures. And whereas childhood trauma, including abuse and neglect, can have a long-term psychological, emotional, and physical effects throughout an individual's lifetime and impact future generations. And whereas primary prevention of child abuse and neglect can reduce the lifetime economic burden associated with child maltreatment. And whereas strengthening families through access to concrete economic, social, and community-based supports reduces the likelihood of abuse and neglect and ensures children have the foundation for lifelong well-being. And whereas effective child abuse prevention activities succeed because of the partnerships created between child welfare professionals, education, health, community, and faith-based organizations, businesses, law enforcement agencies, and families. And whereas communities must make every effort to promote programs and activities that create strong and thriving children and families. And whereas we acknowledge that we must work together as a community to increase awareness about child abuse and contribute to promoting the social and environmental well-being of children and families in a safe, stable, and nurturing environment. And whereas investments in prevention initiatives such as home visiting programs, family strengthening policies, economic supports, and community-based child abuse prevention efforts are essential to building safer, healthier communities for children and families. And whereas prevention remains the best defense for our children and families. Now therefore, I, Russ Kessler, Mayor of the City of Haysville, do hereby proclaim April 2025 as Child Abuse Prevention Month in Haysville, Kansas, and urge all citizens to recognize this month by dedicating ourselves to the task of improving the quality of life for all children and families. Together we can create a state where every child can grow up happy, healthy, and safe with hope for their future. Dated 14th of April 2025. I'm going to sign it and I'll come on up there. So I do appreciate you all coming out.
Yes, thank you.
I know you probably want to say a few
If that's
words.
okay.
So
Yes.
So thank you.
Thank
for
you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And then here's some information and pinwheels for the council members.
Okay, great.
Thank you. Let you pass them out. So thank you, Mayor Kessler and council members for inviting us today and for signing the proclamation declaring April as Child Abuse Prevention Month. I'm Rachel Harper, the Assistant Director of Prevent Child Abuse Kansas at Kansas Children's Service League. Kansas was the first state to have its own chapter of Prevent Child Abuse Kansas 49 years ago. And April has been recognized as Child Abuse Prevention Month since 1983. The blue pinwheel became the symbol for the child abuse prevention in 2008. The pinwheel represents the happy, healthy childhoods that we all desire to see. Each year, KCSL coordinates statewide activities and offers support to local community efforts to help spread awareness, foster community, and promote policies that ensure the safety and well-being of children and families. The theme for Child Abuse Prevention Month this year is Powered by Hope, Strengthened by Prevention. We at KCSL are committed to a future where every child grows up safe, loved, and full of hope. Prevention is a shared responsibility. Families, communities, policymakers, and organizations must work together to provide economic and social supports, including affordable child care, paid leave, and financial stability, community-based solutions, ensuring access to local resources and networks, and stronger prevention policies with investments that uplift families before harm occurs. Prevention isn't just about avoiding harm, it's also about creating opportunities for families to thrive. Positive childhood experiences, including stable relationships and nurturing environments, help children thrive and mitigate adverse childhood experiences, or ACEs. And prevention is hard work, but it's also heart work. And to celebrate Child Abuse Prevention Month, you can plant a pinwheel garden. It's a visual reminder of the world we want for all children to grow up happy, healthy, and prepared to succeed. Please reach out to KCSL for more details. And then also follow Kansas Children's Service League on social media, and we'll use the hashtag Powered by Hope for all child abuse prevention posts. And thank you.
Well, thank you for coming out.
Yes.
It's an honor to do this.
Thank you.
All right, next up we have item B, proclamation regarding Arbor Day. Whereas in 1872, the Nebraska Board of Agriculture established a special day to be set aside for the planting of trees. And whereas this holiday, called Arbor Day, was first observed with the planting of more than 1 million trees in Nebraska. And whereas Arbor Day is now observed throughout the nation and world. And whereas trees could be a solution to combating climate change by reducing the erosion of our precious topsoil by wind and water, cutting heating and cooling costs, moderating the temperature, cleaning the air, producing life-giving oxygen, and providing habitat for wildlife. And whereas trees are a renewable resource, giving us paper, wood for our homes, fuel for our fires, and countless other wood products. And whereas trees in our city increase property values, enhance the economic vitality of business areas, and beautify our community. And whereas trees, wherever they are planted, are a source of joy and spiritual renewal. Therefore I, Russ Kessler, Mayor of the City of Haysville, do hereby proclaim May 3rd, 2025 as Arbor Day in the City of Haysville. And I urge all citizens to celebrate Arbor Day and to support efforts to protect our trees and woodlands. And further, I urge all citizens to plant trees to gladden the hearts and promote the well-being of this and future generations. 14th day of April, 2025. So this proclamation is for this year, 2025. So May 3rd is the day we designate as Arbor Day. This is in remembrance of the 1999 May 3rd tornado that hit Haysville. So we are celebrating Arbor Day on May 5th at 5:15 at Country Lakes Park, where we will be planting trees. The scouts will be there also to assist. So I do urge everybody to come out, council members and public, everybody is invited. It's again on May 5th, it's a Monday at 5:15 p.m. at Country Lakes Park. And we also applied at the end of 2024 to be designated as a Tree City USA. So this is we received our 25-year sticker and plaque as a Tree City USA. So it's 25 years, it's a big deal, long time. All right, next we have presentation and approval of minutes. Councilman Bennett.
I make a motion that we approve the minutes of the March 10, 2025 council meeting.
We have a motion and a second to approve the minutes of March 10th, 2025. Any discussion? Question, please.
Brewster.
Yes.
Walters.
Yes.
Martin.
Yes.
Ewert.
Yes.
Benner.
Yes.
Barton.
Yes.
Crum.
Yes.
Thompson.
Yes.
All right, next we have item 1, public comment. A, Susie Sutton from Sedgwick County Fire District Number 1 Steering Council. Welcome.
Hello, good evening, everyone. I just wanted to provide a brief update of the Sedgwick County Fire District 1 Steering Committee since the last time I was here, about 3 or 4 months ago. Last time I was here, I said that we had delivered a new fire truck to Haysville. We've had another fire truck delivered, but this time it was Goddard. There's a new training officer that we will be hiring. Traditionally, we've had taken a lieutenant or captain from a shift to train our recruiting, and those have been rotated. But we have to backfill those positions for the 8 weeks, and so that leads to overtime. And then also, while we have a plan and it's fairly consistent, when you have different people doing the training, it's not always exactly consistent. And so it was decided to hire a training officer, so the training program is exact every time, and then we'll eliminate the overtime. And this person, when they're not doing the training of the recruits, they'll just help with the safety officer and then the other training officer that's on staff. Then the other change that has occurred is at the first of the year they implemented new shifts. They've changed to a 48-hour on to 96 hours off. At first they weren't sure, mostly spouses weren't sure they would like that because of childcare and such, but most have accommodated it changed and liked it because they found that the 96 off has really helped scheduling and stuff. And the biggest thing that we're working on right now is a training facility. I know many people are probably familiar with the Wichita training facility at 31st and Oliver, but because the Wichita Fire District is so big, they don't have a lot of time for us to use that. So we have to go to Hutchinson, to Newton, Valley Center, and then sometimes we get to go to Wichita. And then we can do some of our outdoor training outside of the Bel Air Fire Department. But otherwise, we're having to go out of town. And so someone donated land outside of the fire station at Oliver, just south of 31st. So we're working on getting the approvals to build a new training facility at that fire station. And the original plan was to build a complete facility with a new building to do the interior, the book training and all that type of thing too. They are looking at going back to, currently use the Bel Air Fire Station for the book training and in-classroom training. But the basement leaks water badly and needs a lot of improvement, so they're trying to see whether to spend the money on redoing that facility to make it up to code or continue with building the new building. So that's kind of what we're working on right now. And then budget will come up soon, so we'll be focusing on that. So, any questions?
I'm not seeing any. I appreciate the update.
Okay. So, thank you for your time.
Yeah, thank you. Next, we have item C, Ken Bell, Haysville Community Library.
I want to thank you, Mayor, and members of the council for permitting me to speak with you this evening. At the request of several interested citizens, I'm here to ask that you authorize the creation of a special fund controlled by the city of Haysville, to which citizens may voluntarily contribute for the purpose of constructing a library annex building. I personally support the ultimate construction of an annex building for the library because I see the needs and benefits every day. The creation of this fund does not commit the city to constructing the annex, but it does give citizens the opportunity to support that construction with their own personal financial contributions. I believe that an annex could be built immediately south of the library on the southern parking lot, and that annex could be built in such a way that it would take up only 4 parking spaces on that south parking lot, which of course are at a premium. A 2-story ADA compliant annex with linoleum floors could provide a number of benefits and solve a number of problems with respect to the current library plant. Extending the productive life of the library, providing improved services to the public, and enhancing the historic district park in significant ways. I just want to summarize briefly 4 different ways in which I think that annex could serve Haysville. First, a modest Haysville Historic Museum and would complement and enhance the historic district park. I think that could be housed in that annex and would benefit Haysville's study of history, celebration of history, and the park itself. Second, a larger meeting space that's accessible for groups beyond library open hours with separate key controls to limit entry and access would be significantly beneficial. One of the problems the library has right now for example, hosting homeowners associations is that if they want to meet beyond library hours, and they always want to meet beyond library hours, we have no way of restricting access to any part of the library. The whole library is open internally to anyone who is inside the library, with the exception of the elevator operations room and a couple of the offices. I don't think that our insurance company would appreciate us providing access to the hundreds of thousands of dollars of computer equipment and all kinds of other various books, property, without any kind of control whatsoever. But you could do that in an annex with separate key control. More small meeting rooms is another advantage because it would allow access to individuals and groups, again, with key controlled access, beyond the hours that the library would allow. Presently, we've only got 2 quiet rooms in the library, and one of them is continually occupied almost entirely by meetings. And more meeting spaces could accommodate more groups and individuals. Activity space, in addition to that, for workshops, for summer reading programs. We have right now approximately 30 different activities that take place downstairs at the lower level of the library during the summer. They're a bit messy. They include things like construction of stones for stepping stones. They include all kinds of slime making and other things that interest kids, but they're not really great on a carpeted surface, and providing access to that would be beneficial. Space for workshops and summer reading events. Finally, the library as originally designed had no, and I repeat, no storage and processing space for books. Strange for a library, but true, and an annex could provide a separate storage area and processing area, which would reduce the kind of mess that you have currently on the lower level of the library. So I'm hoping that you as a council will approve the notion of at least providing a vehicle for individuals to create, to provide, to contribute to a fund that will enhance ultimately the construction of an annex for the library.
All right, thank you, Ken. Councilman Walters.
Thank you, Ken. A couple of questions I have for you. It sounds like you've gone to a lot of thought in how to prepare this additional annex. Do you happen to have blueprints already for this?
No, I obviously it would require consulting an architect to do it the proper
Okay.
way.
Okay.
I have some pretty detailed notions as to what would work, and I'd be happy to share them with you.
Okay. The second question I had, once this is built, are you considering renting the space, or is it available to Haysville citizens?
I think the typical library policy right now is to provide free space to Haysville citizens. That doesn't mean that we could not, on certain occasions, make it available to somebody on a pay-as-go basis. That's certainly a possibility. But right now, we virtually provide no space for dollars.
All right, thank you.
Any other questions for Ken? I know there's a letter in your packet that Ken mailed to us. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Any other members would like to speak during public comment period? All right, we will move on. Next, we have item 2, approval of licenses and bonds. We have none. Item 3, introduction of ordinances and resolutions. A, an ordinance establishing a non-budgeted fund pursuant to KSA 79-2925A2 to hold donated funds for the construction of the library annex. Councilman Crum?
First, I have a question on this, and this, is there like a limit to how long you can have this, and if something happened and the annex wasn't built, what would have to happen to that money? Sort of stuff, questions like that. Any ideas?
So we can hold donated funds that aren't tax dollars in a special fund, and that's why we have to do this ordinance to establish that. How you guys want to word the ordinance as to what happens with the funds, it's up to you guys how you want to do that.
But right now, this is just a general statement.
This is staff and me kind of banding about, how we want to do it with input from Ken. So yeah, your input would be valuable. So.
Okay. Well, for right now, if there's no other discussion, I'll go ahead and make a motion that we approve this ordinance establishing a non-budgeted fund pursuant to KSA 79-2925A2 to hold donated funds for the construction of a library annex.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve this ordinance as presented. Any discussion? Question, please.
Brewster.
Yes.
Walters.
Yes.
Martin.
Yes.
Ewart.
Yes.
Benner.
Yes.
Parton.
Yes.
Crum.
Yes.
Thompson.
Yes.
All right, next we have item B, A resolution authorizing and directing the issuance, sale, and delivery of general obligation temporary notes, Series A, 2025, of the city of Haysville, Kansas, providing for the levy and collection of an annual tax, if necessary, for the purpose of paying the principal of interest on said notes as they become due, making certain covenants and agreements to provide for the payment and security thereof, and authorizing certain other documents and actions connected therewith. So tonight we have Brett Sjogren.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, ladies and gentlemen of the council. Brett Sjogren with Stiefel Nicholas and Company, city's financial advisor. At previous meetings, you adopted resolutions authorizing Lakefield Addition infrastructure improvement projects consisting of paving, stormwater sewer, drainage, water distribution improvements, as well as some sidewalk improvements. And you've also authorized the sale of general obligation temporary notes for temporary interim finance for those projects. We developed the preliminary official statement with help from your staff. We solicited a rating from Moody's Investor Service, who rates the city's general obligation debt. You may or may not be aware that the rating agency Moody's recently upgraded the city's rating from A3 to A2. So that's great news. During this rating process, they reaffirmed that rating on your outstanding general obligation bonds, and they assigned a MIG-1 rating to these temporary notes, which MIG-1, based on their view of the city's credit and the ability to take these notes out with general obligation bonds, that's the highest rating you can get on temporary notes. So that was good news. We used that rating to advertise the sale to potential underwriters, purchasers, and bidders. And last week, with all the tariff talk, the market really got whipsawed. The stock market went up a couple thousand, or went down a couple thousand points in one day, went back up 1,000 points, and it really just whipsawed our market in the municipal sector. I was trying to figure out what to do with that information. I passed around a municipal issuer note that we put together. Towards the bottom, on the left-hand side, all the green boxes, that's a typical week in our market. Average daily change of about 3.3 basis points. And then in the gray box is last week. As you can see, in the morning on the 7th, we indicated a 10 basis point increase in yields. At noon, it moved to 20, and by the end of the day, it was up to 35 basis points increase in yields. On the 8th, 9 basis point increase, and then it ended at 20 basis points. And then by Wednesday, it was 30 basis points all day. So a huge increase in yields, really the biggest volatility we've seen since COVID. And then I think there was talks to pause potential tariffs, and the market reacted with a 45 basis point drop in yields. And then this was put out on Thursday. Friday, they went up about another 35 basis points. Just kind of discovery, trying to figure out where the market should be. And we prayed that the word tariff didn't come out of Washington, D.C. today, and it didn't. And the market really stabilized. The stock market was up a little bit, but stable, and stability is what we wanted. I contacted Will late last week and said, there's a couple things that could happen. We may not get any bids, not because of anything our fault, just a lot of buyers were just sitting on the sidelines trying to figure out, where the market should price these types of paper. I said that could happen. We could get maybe one bid from a bidder that may just be trying to steal the deal and, throw out a really high interest rate, and or we may just have a normal sale. And we'd have to maybe make some decisions if the first two options happened. But we ended up getting 5 bids. We had one bidder signed up with about 10 minutes to go until the bids were opened. And then the other 4 piled in and placed bids, so we're pleased with that. The best bid was from Country Club Bank. at a true interest cost of 3.710457%. The other bids were pretty close to 4 and up, between 4 and 4.5%. So we're very pleased with Country Club's bid. They really put a good bid together and offered you 3.71%, which I was very pleased to see that this morning. So rates are up a little bit, but they definitely could have been much worse. If we would have tried to price this last week, I probably would have had bad news that we would have had to pull it and maybe try again next month. But luckily, you guys picked a good week to have a council meeting. So good results this morning with the sale. And your bond counsel, Gilmore and Bell, has prepared the note issuance resolution. It's in your packet. I'd stand for any questions. After questions are answered, if there's no questions, I'd ask for a motion to accept the best bid from Country Club Bank and adopt the note resolution as presented. And with that, I'd stand for any questions you may have.
Are there any questions for Brett? Seeing none, what would council like to do? Councilman Walters?
I move that we accept the bid and that Mayor Clickberry authorized to direct to execute the bid in the form of the selling notes on to and through Country Club Bank.
Second.
And to approve the resolution.
And approve the resolution, thank you.
Do we have a motion to approve the resolution as presented, along with approving the bid from Country Club Bank as presented for a true interest cost of 3.710457%. Any discussion? Question, please.
Brewster,
Yes.
Walters,
Yes.
Burton,
Yes.
Ewert,
Yes.
Benner,
Yes.
Horton,
Yes.
Crum,
Yes.
Thompson.
Yes.
Great, thank you very much. I didn't mention it, but the issue is scheduled to close on May 1st, and that's when you'll have funds for your project. So, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
All right, next we have item C, an ordinance denying a request for rezoning of certain real property located within the city of Haysville, Kansas. Kelly?
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Before you have a request for a zone change from LC to HC at 131 West Grand Avenue. On March 13th, 2025, the Planning Commission held a public hearing to review this zone change request and ultimately tabled it until their next scheduled meeting on March 27th, where they recommended denial of the zone change. This morning, I received a phone call from the applicant's agent informing me that they no longer wish to proceed with the zone change and would like the property to remain zoned light commercial. So I'm asking for a motion to adopt the Planning Commission's recommendation to deny the zone change, and I can stand for any questions you may have.
Are there any questions for Caleb? Councilman Walters?
I guess just procedurally, since they no longer wish to change, do we need to vote on that? We still do need to.
Yes.
Okay.
Councilperson Barton?
Make a motion, we deny the zone change.
Second.
A motion, a second to deny the ordinance that requested the zone change. Any discussion? Councilman Walters?
Just clarification, I want to make sure we're accepting the Planning Commission's recommendation.
Correct, to
Okay.
deny the zone change.
Right.
Any discussion? Question, please.
Brewster,
Yes.
Walters,
Yes.
Burton,
Yes.
Ewert,
Yes.
Benner,
Yes.
Horton,
Yes.
Crum,
Yes.
Thompson.
Yes.
All right, next, item D, an ordinance vacating a portion of platted complete access control easement within Block 1, Timberlane Plaza Addition.
Before you should now have a request to vacate portions of complete access control on the property generally located at the northwest corner of West Grand Avenue and South Meridian Avenue. On February 27th, the Planning Commission held a public hearing for this vacation and recommended approval, and I can stand for any questions you may have.
Councilman Crum?
Now, the vacation is just for the two entrances on either side of the property, is that correct?
Yes, for the entrances on the east side of the property line, there was complete access control there, so they're vacating that so they can add driveways that match up with the driveways on the east side of Meridian for a quick shop.
Councilperson Barton?
Are they taking out the driveway that's right there on the south end of that property, right near the corner?
I believe so, but I'd have to defer to the applicant.
Yes, okay, because that's too much, there'd be too much traffic going in and out and trying to get that short a turn in there, so, okay.
Councilman Crum?
I make a motion that we approve this ordinance vacating a portion of platted, complete access control easement within Lot 1, Block 1, Timber Lane Plaza Edition.
Second.
And motion and a second to approve the ordinance vacating a portion of the platted complete access control easement as presented. Any further discussion? Question, please.
Brewster.
Yes.
Walters.
Yes.
Barton.
Yes.
Hebert.
Yes.
Benner.
Yes.
Horton.
Yes.
Crum.
Yes.
Thompson.
Yes.
All right, next we have item 4, notices and communication. A, governing body announcements. Councilman Crum.
Stuff going on at the library. One thing I do want to point out, you know, we just had the proclamation about the Child Abuse Prevention Month, and one thing that is provided here in Haysville through the school district is their Parents as Teachers program, and they, again, are doing every Thursday. They do a story time at the library. So I just wanted to point that out. That's kind of something that is given here, and young parents have an opportunity to have this. They actually have, the Parents as Teacher program have licensed teachers that come into the homes and play games with the kids and do different things like that to help them get ready for school. And just kind of want to point out that that's on Thursdays from at 10:30 at the library. They're doing those kind of activities there. At 4 p.m., the Lego Club on the 16th will be having a get-together. The library wants to point out that April 22nd is Earth Day. On April 23rd at 6 o'clock, there'll be a Girl Scout sign-up session going on at the library. And then, of course, the quilters meet in the community room on Monday and Thursday mornings. And the knitting and crochet groups, they meet on Tuesday afternoons. And I would imagine that coming up here in May, we'll probably get some information about the summer programs that will be going on at the library. That's all I have. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Anybody else have any other announcements? I have some from the Senior Center. Some upcoming special events. Line dancing every Wednesday at 3 p.m. except April 16th due to commodities. Commodities will be April 16th. Pizza party on April 18th. The Hustle Shopping Outing, April 22nd. The April Dinner will be April 25th. Spring Porch Leaner Paint Class, April 26th. Dessert Contest, April 30th. Sounds good. Some recurring events, donuts, coffee and conversation, dominoes, cards, crafts, bingo, bunko, chair yoga, WSU well rep, and Alzheimer's support group. For the Haysville Hustle numbers, March of this year, number of rides, 301, compared to last year, 252. New registered riders in March was 4, last year was 2. So, everything is the Mayor's Prayer Breakfast. That'll be on May 1st at 7 a.m. at the Hack. Tickets are $10. Some of the local churches have tickets for sale, as well as City Hall. And I already mentioned about the Arbor Day celebration. That'll be May 5th at 5:15 p.m. at Country Lakes Park, where we will be planting some trees. All right, next we have item B, memo regarding new business license. So we do have several in there. Item C, Sedgwick County Fire Department Station 34 monthly report. It's in your packet. Item D, a letter from Wichita Transit regarding the Haysville Hustle Grant Award. So with this award, there's be an 8-passenger handicap accessible van along with operating costs. So it's a 2-year matching grant. Councilman Crum.
And this is in addition to
Yes.
our current vehicle?
Correct.
Okay, I thought so. I just want to make sure.
Item E, we have an Economic Development Quarterly Report. Danielle.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. In your package, you'll find the updated first quarter economic development report. This year, we engaged with 1,011 attendees from the home show. I've also included engagement numbers from the previous 2 years, which can be found on page 11 under the community events calendar. And then for the grant section, starting on page 18, I've updated our 2024 applications to reflect the awards in 2025. So those are now included in the 2025 totals rather than the 2024 totals as they were in the last report. I felt it was more appropriate to represent them in the year that we will receive the funding. And I just wanted to make sure you were aware of that adjustment, and I'm happy to answer any questions.
Any questions for Danielle? See none, thank you. You can stay right there if you like. Item 5, old business, we have none. Item 6, other business. A, consideration of agreement with Kansas Department of Commerce regarding housing rehab grant.
So the memo in your packet outlines the process for submitting payment requests for project expenses under the CDBG Home Rehabilitation Grant. All bids and contracts will still need approval from the council before execution. I'm requesting permission for authorized signatories to process payments within the pre-approved amounts. This will help us meet the grant's 3-day turnaround requirement for timely payments. 2 of the 4 authorized signatories are required for each payment, and any changes to contract amounts will be brought back to council for approval. So the authorized signature form is included in your packets. Additionally, per grant requirements, 3 other necessary documents are attached to the memo. These include a policy on sexual harassment and 2 certifications regarding company contract restrictions. I'm seeking a motion to approve the authorization for designated signatories to process payments within the pre-approved amount, with reapproval required if contract amounts change, as well as approval and signatures on the necessary documents listed to ensure the timely and professional administration of the CDBG Home Rehabilitation Grant. Thank you, and I'm happy to answer any questions.
Are there any questions for Danielle? If not, before anybody makes a motion, come up there for a minute. You probably know what this is.
Big check.
Big one.
Big check. So, Georgie's gonna take our picture. So Danielle and I, so Danielle and I went to Topeka, I forgot what day it was. Probably says on here. Around March 12th, somewhere around there. Maybe soon after. So went up there for a ceremony, and there were several people, several communities up there receiving different types of grants. So we're proud of Danielle and all the work that you have done in order to get this grant for our city and for the homes that will be affected. So thank you. So let you take this check and you can hang it in your office somewhere. So, just don't take it to the bank. Anybody like to make a motion? Councilman Crump.
I make a motion that we approve an authorization for designated signatories to process payments within the pre-approved amount and reapproval requirement if contract amounts change, and approval and signature of authorized signature form, policy regarding sexual harassment, certification of companies not currently engaged in the procurement or obtainment of certain equipment, services, or systems, and certification of company not currently engaged in boycott of goods or services from Israel.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the agreement with Kansas Department of Commerce as presented. Any discussion? Question, please.
Brewster.
Yes.
Walters.
Yes.
Burton.
Yes.
Ewert.
Yes.
Benner.
Yes.
Parton.
Yes.
Crum.
Yes.
Thompson.
Yes.
Thank you again, Daniel. Next, we have item B, consideration of revisions to personnel manual.
Good evening.
I'd like to see if anybody had any questions after reviewing. I did not receive any in my email.
Councilman Crum?
I noticed that we added a section on artificial intelligence.
We did.
And I guess I just had one question on that, and it was more of a, I like the way it says everything's gotta be checked over and stuff, but one of them said something about you can't use it verbatim. I think it was,
Supposed to avoid plagiarism, so it's to help guide and direct people, but to not be able to just
Copy and paste.
copy an entire document and declare it as their own work.
okay, so let's, okay, I was
So if
thinking.
they
of-
are going to use a section, we would need to reference it.
Okay, okay, that's all I wanted, and yeah, it was kinda interesting, I noticed we put that in there, is that starting to be something other cities are having to look at now all of a sudden?
It's just, in reading articles, being recommended for all companies to establish some guidelines as it becomes more used. To
Okay.
put some safeguards just for, securing our information that someone might wanna put in, and also to make sure people are checking their work and not just relying on it, because it is still in a testing phase technically.
Okay, thank you.
I would ask if anybody is going to make a motion to approve, to please make it effective April 13th, because yesterday was the beginning of our pay period.
Any other questions for Angie? Councilman Crum?
I make a motion that we approve the revisions to the personnel manual as presented and make it have taken effect on April 13th.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the revisions to the personnel manual as presented. Any discussion? Question, please.
Brewster?
Yes.
Walters?
Yes.
Barton?
Yes.
Ewert?
Yes.
Benner?
Yes.
Parton?
Yes.
Crum?
Yes.
Thompson?
Yes.
All right, thank you. Next, we have item C, consideration of agreement with Sedgwick County for immunization and screening services.
I don't really have anything to add, I was just standing here, so. If you have any questions, this is just, it's already an agreement that we have in place, it's just continuing to get those services through Sedgwick County at a more affordable rate for our employees. Or for the city to pay for our employees to get those immunizations.
Councilperson Barton.
If there's no comments, make a motion, we approve the agreement with Sedgwick County for immunization and screening services.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the agreement with Sedgwick County for immunization and screening services. Any discussion? Question, please.
Brewster?
Yes.
Walters?
Yes.
Barton?
Yes.
Ewert?
Yes.
Benner?
Yes.
Parton?
Yes.
Crum?
Yes.
Thompson?
Yes.
All right, item D, consideration of bids for Sunnyside water main replacement.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. The bid opening for the Sunnyside water line was held on March 27th. The engineer's estimate for the project was $233,520. Therefore, I'm asking for your authorization to accept the bid from Meese Construction for a total of $210,287. I stand for any questions you may have.
Councilmember Warden?
Okay, Tony, I got a question. Back when we paved those streets and did that whole area over there, did we not take care of this at that time?
Sunnyside hasn't been paved since I've been here. It's that one-way street off of 63rd, the first city street west of Broadway.
Oh, okay. I was in the wrong area.
There is a Sunnyside, there's other Sunnysides in Haysville, so maybe that's.
Okay.
Any other questions? Councilman Crum?
I make a motion that we approve the bid for Meads Construction for $210,287 for the water line project as presented.
Second.
Sunnyside.
We have a motion and a second to accept the bid for the Sunnyside water main replacement as presented. Any discussion? Question, please.
Brewster?
Yes.
Walters?
Yes.
Barton?
Yes.
Ewert?
Yes.
Benner?
Yes.
Parton?
Yes.
Crum?
Yes.
Thompson?
Yes.
Next, we have item E, the presentation of the 2025 street program.
Good evening again. So hopefully we'll have a presentation up here shortly that we can go through. So first off, I want to give you a refresher on how we perform reevaluation. So there is 518 segments of pavement in town. The stars kind of on the aerial there show every piece of segment that our street superintendent, John Simons, evaluates He's gonna evaluate those for any surface deficiencies and/or drainage issues. As we know, drainage issues cause street problems, paving problems, roads to crumble. Also, photos are taken of each segment. So for each segment, we have multiple years of photos that as the street or pavement gets worse, we're able to compare photos to see how quickly the deficiencies are happening. This is just a quick 2 screenshots of the actual evaluation form that John utilizes. He's able to mark the type of road, comments on drainage, recommend any maintenance that he thinks would help increase the lifespan of that segment. Next up is the actual Paisley rating system, 1 through 10, 1 being poor or failed, and 10 being best, excellent road. So we do have some technical guidance on rating these segments of roads. This is, I like a lot of information in kind of a one-stop shop. This is kind of what I would call a heat map. The red or the orange colors are roads that are rated lower. Green or the light green are the colors we'd like to see. And then next up, we got a bar graph, same information. So if I was looking at that, I would say majority of our segments of roads are rated 6 or higher. So I think that's good and something we can be proud of. During the sales tax campaign, the city shared its goal of paving remaining gravel roads. We have a few remaining still. So as we know, paving gravel roads improves the safety, reduces maintenance costs, and enhances a neighborhood. And I want to comment that one further. We've done Sunset Fields and Orchard Acres, which used to be gravel roads, and I think we all can say that has enhanced that neighborhood. I think those homeowners have taken greater pride. And also gravel road maintenance is time consuming for our staff and also is resource intensive. Here's the maps of the remaining gravel roads. So we got Emmett off of Broadway, then we got Sunnyside, Twin Pines, and Cottonwood. This will be a later agenda item for you guys to approve. The next up, we got the Dorner Park Road. That's by soccer and the dog park. The road was built off of compacted millings with 2 layers of slurry seal on top. It was constructed in 2017 and has definitely showed some wear and tear. But overall, I would say for the cost of a slurry seal, it's held up pretty well in 8 years. We did perform an internal estimate on asphalt. We'd love to be able to just asphalt that thing, but $150,000 is quite a bit of money. So another later agenda item will be you to consider a double slurry seal on that road again. And I think that's all I have for this, and if you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer them.
Are there any questions? Councilman Walters?
Obviously, a lot of work. The 518, the starred events that you have, it looks like it doesn't necessarily align specifically with your passer or evaluation. My question is, how are those going to be covered? I had somebody ask me about that, and I noticed that some of those stars are more in the green, light green area. So does that mean that they're going to be pushed way down the line before they're going to be fixed?
So anytime we do evaluation, we also evaluate the street sales tax that we have coming in or forecasted. We obviously start with the lower rated roads.
Sure.
That's how we do business, that we've done it the last 6 years. But the city made not a promise, but a indication during the sales tax to pave the gravel roads. But yeah, next year when we come back with a street program, we'll look at mill and overlay and crack sealing, and we start at the lowest rated roads. We look at how well traveled they are. We don't want to spend $100,000 on a road that gets 5 people a day. We're going to look at higher traffic areas, higher volumes, roads that feed commercial districts, activity centers, city hall, things like that. In a perfect world, we'd have an abundance of money and we could do everything.
Sure. So what I can tell this person is it may not get covered essentially, or if it does, it's going to be down, because it's in the light, looks like it's in light green area looking at the street map.
Yeah, so one thing also to note, all the information we did in our evaluation is available on the GIS section of our website. So you're able to manipulate the map, click on certain segments, look at photos, look at the comments or the rating. That would help. If easier, they call me and talk to me and just tell me what road they're talking about, and I can say, hey, yeah, that's gonna be down the road, or it's on our doorstep.
All right, appreciate it.
Any other questions for Tony? Councilman Crum?
Tony, how does he determine the drainage when we hardly have any rain.
So poor drainage and negative street pavement go hand in hand. So if you see quite a bit of cracking, rutting, longitudinal cracks, we know drainage is probably gonna be an issue. There's a lot of times where even on the sidewalk project over on Broadway, they're doing a lot of curb. I wait for a rainy day and I go make sure the new curb they poured, does it actually drain? But a lot of it, yes, we do a lot more waiting and taking notes. Hey, we need to go back and look at this, cause yeah, we need rain.
Does he ever like talk to people around the area, maybe just to find out if they?
At times, he ain't gonna go up and just knock on somebody's door, but you know, we like to conversate and people like to talk to us and they like to tell us their experience where they live.
Okay, thanks.
Any other questions for Tony? What would council like to do? Would you like to make a motion to approve the 2025 street program? Councilman Benner.
I make a motion, we approve the 2025 street program as presented.
Second.
A motion and a second to approve the 2025 street program as presented. Any discussion? Question, please.
Brewster.
Yes.
Walters.
Yes.
Rodden.
Yes.
Ewert. Yes. Benner.
Yes.
Barton.
Yes.
Crum.
Yes.
Thompson.
Yes.
All right, next item F, consideration of bids for paving gravel streets.
So as discussed, this project includes the paving and drainage construction of the remaining gravel roads, which include Ward Parkway, Sunnyside Road, Cottonwood Lane, and Emmett Avenue. The engineer's estimate was $800,440. We are asking your authorization to approve the best bid from Barclay Construction LLC in the amount of $620,037.50, and this will be paid out of the street sales tax funds.
Councilperson Barton.
Make a motion, we accept the authorization to accept the bid for Barclay Construction in the amount of $620,037.50.
Second.
A motion and a second to approve the bid for the paving of the gravel streets as presented. Any discussion? Question, please.
Brewster.
Yes.
Walters.
Yes.
Rodden.
Yes.
Ewert. Yes. Benner.
Yes.
Barton.
Yes.
Crum.
Yes.
Thompson.
Yes.
All right, so we'll make a great improvement for that area over there.
Yes, it is.
Next, we have item G, consideration of Dorner Park slurry seal.
So we received one bid to rehab the drive in the park area next to the dog park and soccer fields located in Dorner Park. We are requesting authorization to approve the bid from South Central Paving and Sealing. Actually, I said that backwards. South Central Sealing and Paving in the amount of $58,322.10, and this will be paid out of park and recreation sales tax funds.
Do you have any questions? Councilman Crum?
Tony, you said we only got one bid. Does the price seem to be reasonable?
Yeah, so we use this company for our crack seal and our slurry seal, and it was just a slight increase from previous years.
Well, with that information, I'll go ahead and make a motion that we approve the bid as presented for the Dorner Park slurry seal, $58,322.10.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the slurry seal for Dorner Park as presented. Any discussion? Question, please.
Brewster.
Yes.
Walters.
Yes.
Rodden.
Yes.
Ewert. Yes. Benner.
Yes.
Barton.
Yes.
Crum.
Yes.
Thompson.
Yes.
All right, next we have item H, consideration of antique light pole order.
So we received a quote from American Streetscape Lighting to purchase 10 antique light pole assemblies needed for our repair supply. We are requesting approval to purchase the 10 light pole assemblies from American Streetscape Lighting for a total of $21,240. This will be paid out of capital improvements funds. And for reference, when we ordered 10 last year, they were about $81 cheaper last year each.
Councilperson Barton.
Make a motion, we accept the bid from American Streetscape Lighting for $21,240 for the antique light poles.
Second.
A motion and a second to approve the purchase of the antique light poles. Any discussion? Question, please.
Brewster.
Yes.
Walters.
Yes.
Rodden.
Yes.
Ewert. Yes. Benner.
Yes.
Barton.
Yes.
Crum.
Yes.
Thompson.
Yes.
All right, next we have item A, consideration of the Angel of Hope Memorial expansion.
The city was contacted regarding expansion of the existing memorial wall due to the space becoming limited. Brad Murray Incorporated was the original company that built the memorial. We're requesting authorization to approve the contract with Brad Murray in the amount of $14,450 to complete this project, and this will be paid out of capital improvement funds.
Councilperson Barton?
The plaques will be taken off and put on the new one?
No, it would be an additional one wall on each side.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah.
We do have Stacy here. She was inspirational in getting Angel of Hope here in Haysville and Gordon Park. So thank you for coming tonight. Councilman Benner.
I make a motion we approve the Angel of Hope Monument Expansion Project in the amount of $14,450 with Brad Murray Incorporated.
Second.
So a motion and a second to approve the Angel of Hope Memorial Expansion Project as presented. Any discussion? No. Councilman Crum?
Tony, I think in that bid, it talked about demolition of something too. If they're not gonna, what are they having to take out?
So there's a footing on the existing wall, so to be able to tie into the existing footing, they have to take out some of the slab as well. And we're also addressing some settling of the slab towards the rear as well.
Okay, thank you.
Any other discussion? Question, please.
Brewster?
Yes.
Walters?
Yes.
Barton?
Yes.
Hebert?
Yes.
Benner?
Yes.
Harden?
Yes.
Crum?
Yes.
Thompson?
Yes.
All right, thank you. And thanks again, Stacy, for coming tonight.
Thank you.
Next, we have item J, consideration of cured in place pipe.
All right, last for me. We have requested proposals for installing cured-in-place pipe to rehab a portion of the sanitary sewer collection system. We have identified just over 1,400 linear feet. I did make an error in the memo, so ignore the amount I requested in the memo. We were requesting approval to contract with Mayor Specialty Services LLC in the amount of $44,085.62. This is a budgeted item and will be paid out of the wastewater department funds.
Councilman Crum?
I make a motion that we approve the bid from Mayor Specialty Services for $44,085.62 for cured in place pipe as presented.
Second.
A motion and a second to approve the bid for the cured in place pipe as presented. Any discussion? Question, please.
Brewster?
Yes.
Walters?
Yes.
Barton?
Yes.
Hebert?
Yes.
Benner?
Yes.
Harden?
Yes.
Crum?
Yes.
Thompson?
Yes. Thank you.
Don't even sit down. All right, next we have item K, consideration of waste tire grant program.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Earlier this year, we applied for the 2025 Waste Tire Grant Program. We were notified that we were awarded able to be purchased 12 swing mats for different parks and then 14 8-foot picnic tables that would be the recycled tables that we have purchased for other parks. At the April Park Board meeting, they did approve the funds for this. It's a 50-50 match. I am seeking approval for $17,016. $8,908 will be reimbursed to us, but I'm asking for approval to move forward with the paperwork and purchase these products. That won't be until May 1st. We cannot purchase products till then.
Any questions for Georgie? Councilperson Barton?
Make a motion we accept the 2025 Waste Tire Grant Program with a total purchase amount for $17,016.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the waste tire grant program as presented. Councilman Crum?
Georgie, I was just curious, who did the paperwork to do this grant?
I did.
Thank you. I like the way we've been utilizing grants the last few years. I'm glad to see we've got different departments.
Grants definitely help us out.
Yes, they do.
Any other discussion? Question, please.
Brewster?
Yes.
Walters?
Yes.
Barton?
Yes.
Hebert?
Yes.
Benner?
Yes.
Harden?
Yes.
Crum?
Yes.
Thompson?
Yes.
All right, next we have item L, consideration of accessible playground equipment for Coleman Park.
Previously, I'd presented to you an ADA piece for Riggs Park. We also, Park Board at that time had also approved funds for Colmia Park. We did not have the final design and layout. In your packet, you do have the layout of Colmia Park where the playground equipment previously was. There is a piece in the northwest corner that doesn't get used very much. We are going to remove that piece and then install a we-go round. There was a link for that playground piece in your packet. The park board approved funds for up to $83,000 for completion of this project. We will run a sidewalk from the existing parking lot over to this piece, and then we'll use pour in place around this structure, and then it'll transcend into the wood fiber mulch that is there. So I'm seeking approval for that amount. I can answer any questions you might have.
Are there any questions for Georgie? What would council like to do? Councilperson Parton.
I make a motion we accept as presented for the new playground equipment.
Second.
And motion and a second to approve the accessible playground equipment for Colnia Park as presented. Any discussion? Question, please.
Brewster?
Yes.
Walters?
Yes.
Warden?
Yes.
Ewert?
Yes.
Bennett?
Yes.
Harton?
Yes.
Crum?
Yes.
Thompson?
Yes.
All right, next we have item 7, department reports. A, administrative services.
We are taking applications for a hometown market. The market will be open on starting on Saturdays in June, from 8 to noon and through the last Saturday in August. You can get paperwork, it's on the webpage, and then also you can pick it up here. That's all I have.
All right, thank you. Next we have item B, city clerk. Benji. Item C, police. Chief.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Tonight we got just some reminders. On April 26th, right out here in the parking lot, we'll have the car seat check as well as the shred event. Both of those we partnered with the chamber on those, so they'll both be the same morning from 10 to 2. So we'll be doing the drug take back down in the east end of the parking lot there, and we'll be doing the shredding up here.
Isn't the car seat
The
check
car
May 3rd?
You're right.
No,
Drug take
Steve's
back.
got it out.
Yeah, drug take back. I'm all confused, so, yep. Yeah, I had car seat check written down twice. Okay, so we have the drug take back from 10 to 2 on the 26th, and then the shred event from 10 to 2 on the 26th. So all be at the same time. One will be down in the east end of the parking lot, the other one will be up here in the west part. So, again, with the drug take back, make sure there's no aerosols or anything like that, but any unneeded drugs or wanted drugs, let's dispose of them the right way, and we'll get them brought up here and taken care of that way. Then the car seat check on May 3rd from 9 to 1 will also be in our parking lot out here. So for those people that have questions on how to install their car seats, or they're not sure that their car seats are installed the correct way, bring your car seat and your child up here so we can make sure that those are installed correctly. We do have quite a few technicians in our department, which is better than a lot of departments are with those. So if you do have any questions about your car seats, bring them up here, and we can certainly have somebody here that can take care of those questions for you. Lastly, but not least, our visiting officer this evening is Officer Noah Childers. He's out there somewhere, so say hi to him as you go by. He's currently assigned to our second shift here in the afternoon from 3 to 11. He's here somewhere. So say hi to him as you go by. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Chief. Next, Public Works. Tony?
The recycling center will also be open on Saturday, April 26th from 10 a.m. to noon. This begins the recycling center being open on the 4th Saturday of the month. Thank you.
Thanks, Tony. Next, we have item E, recreation. Rob.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. On April 26th, after you've taken your drugs and you've recycled, come to Briggs Park, Port Part of the USXO from 3 to 9 p.m. And then the splash pad will open on May 1st. Thank you.
Anything else going on the 26th?
I think that's it.
That's it? All right. All right, next we have item 8, appointments. A, appointment of Eli Rudy Vega to the Park Board for a 2-year term. Councilman Crum.
I make a motion that we approve the appointment of Eli Ruda Vega to the Park Board for a 2-year term.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to appoint Eli Ruda Vega to the Park Board for a 2-year term. Any discussion? Question, please.
Brewster?
Yes.
Walters?
Yes.
Warden?
Yes.
Ewert? Yes. Benner?
Yes.
Harton?
Yes.
Crum?
Yes.
Thompson?
Yes.
All right, next we have item B, reappointment of Susie Sutton to Sedgwick County Fire District Number 1 Steering Council for a 4-year term. Councilperson Harton.
I believe she's done a great job for us, so I would recommend reappointing her.
Second.
Second.
Yes, she has.
Second.
4th.
I appreciate you staying here tonight too. So. We have a motion and a second to reappoint Susan Sutton to the Sedgwick County Fire District #1 Steering Council for a 4-year term because she's been doing a good job. Any discussion? Question, please.
Brewster?
Yes.
Walters?
Yes.
Burton?
Yes.
Ewart? Yes. Benner?
Yes.
Horton?
Yes.
Crum?
Yes.
Thompson?
Yes.
All right, next we have item 9, executive session.
Mr. Mayor, I move that
Sorry, we go first. Item A, executive session for consultation with an attorney for the governing body, which is deemed privileged in the attorney-client relationship, not to exceed 20 minutes.
Mr. Mayor, I move that we recess into executive session under KSA 75-4319B2 for consultation with the city attorney, which would be deemed privileged, to include Josh Pollock, Tony Martinez, and Will Black. The open meeting shall resume here in council meeting room at 8:30.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to go into executive session as presented. Any discussion? Question, please.
Brewster?
Yes.
Walters?
Yes.
Burton?
Yes.
Ewart? Yes. Benner?
Yes.
Horton?
Yes.
Crum?
Yes.
Thompson?
Yes.
Sorry, Mayor, I kind of stepped on
All right, we are back from executive session, no binding action was taken. We move on to item 10, review of expenditures. A, summary of March expenditures.
I move that we receive and file the March expenditures.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to receive and file the March expenditures. Any discussion? Question, please.
Brewster?
Yes.
Walters?
Yes.
Barton?
Yes.
Hubert?
Yes.
Benner?
Yes.
Martin?
Yes.
Crum?
Yes.
Thompson?
Yes.
All right, next we have item 11, the consent agenda. We have 2 items on the consent agenda. Councilperson Parton.
Make a motion, we accept the consent agenda.
Second?
We have a motion and a second to accept the consent agenda. Any questions? Councilman Thompson?
Yeah, I got a question. It's saying here from 8 a.m. to 10 p.m. Is that normal for alcohol consumption for a party for 14 hours?
Rob may have some more information, but I would think that that's their time that they're renting the facility and probably half of it's set up, but do you have any more information?
I'm not told what time they're starting the party, they just get the room for
14 hours.
For the day.
You get the room for the day.
Did they give you guys a phone number to contact them at all, or?
Yeah, we have their,
Oh, okay. Long day, okay.
Yeah.
Any questions about the consent agenda? Question, please.
Brewster?
Yes.
Walters?
Yes.
Martin?
Yes.
Hubert?
Yes.
Benner?
Yes.
Barton?
Yes.
Crum?
Yes.
Thompson?
Yes.
All right, item 12, council items. A, council concerns. Council have any concerns?
Sidewalk looks good.
It does.
Yeah, it looks
Yes.
nice.
Now if the street would get done.
Okay, then. Any other concerns? All right, moving on to item B, council action request updates. There are none. Item 13, adjournment.
Mayor, I make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
A motion and a second to adjourn tonight's meeting. Any discussion? Question, please.
Brewster?
Yes.
Walters?
Yes.
Barton?
Yes.
Hubert?
Yes.
Benner?
Yes.
Barton?
Yes.
Crum?
Yes.
Thompson?
Yes.
Hey, you're it.